Dude, Tucker's take on Renee Good. Now what they're doing is they're taking the death of Renee Good and they're using it to sell us Tucker Carlson.
Tucker Carlson has called out his fellow conservatives for downplaying and even in some cases celebrating the fatal ICE shooting of U.S. citizen Renee Nicole Good. Cenk, are you surprised by this?
I am, and I am pleasantly surprised, and I don't mind saying it. I think what's happening is that the online shows freed from corporate media, Fox News, MSNBC, etc., are now beginning to realize where the American people lie. And the majority of American people were already against mass deportations, let alone these massively excessive violence that is being used. And this was unfortunately a perfect example of it. So I think what people like Tucker Carlson are doing is they're beginning to see, oh, most decent people don't want a 37-year-old Christian woman being shot in the head 3 times because she was trying to run away from law enforcement in that case. So look, this is the development that I was hoping for, but let's give you the facts on what he said.
I do want to just make a quick caveat to your statement about the difference between, corporate media and online digital independent media. There is an exception because Daily Wire hosts are certainly part of the digital media, part that we are in, obviously not ideologically, but in terms of where we air and broadcast our show.
Dude, she hates Ben Shapiro, boss.
They seem to have an inherent interest in dividing the country because what we've heard from Matt Walsh in the follow-up to this disastrous and tragic incident is only meant to divide Americans. But in the case of Tucker Carlson, he's trying to get people to think a little differently. And I think it's important for people to maybe consider this approach.
All right, now, why is this important, guys? Okay, I'll tell you why this is important. Okay, because in 2028, I don't know that TYT has a lot of influence in 2026 because of Trump's damaging thing. But TYT is setting up now for 2028, okay? And they're setting up to be a wrecking ball that is going to try and sell the left-wing audience on Tucker Carlson being a populist because of the presence of Gavin Newsom. Because they know that right now Gavin Newsom is a very likely primary candidate winner for the Democratic Party. And Ana Kasparian will burn down her entire fucking house in order to try and prevent Gavin Newsom from becoming president. Let me just tell you, they don't have like a hardcore group of leftists that listen, let's go listen to Ana and Cenk. What they have, guys, is they have people for years that are still like connected to TYT and they're still like listening to TYT and they don't want to accept the fact that they're sort of like, like modulating over to the right. And so the thing is these guys are sinkers, okay? They are sinkers. They're poisoners, man. And you know what they're going to do? They are actively campaigning for Tucker Carlson right now. And what's more about this, guys, is they are supporting people like John Fetterman. They're like saying he's reasonable, right? We're seeing a lot of these sort of like modulators. I say these guys are modulating because they're slowly trying to drag things to the right, to right-wing populism, because basically, like, what you may have noticed with Ana and Cenk, I'm going to take you through this, and it's important that we think about this, guys, because we do have to contend with the party crashers, okay? Cenk Uygur is a Republican, okay? He got mad at George Bush. He became a progressive, populist, whatever, Democrat that then attached to Bernie's populist movement, but he was always anti-Obama. There was always a tinge of racism and misogyny to this network, even when they were progressive, okay? They were still racist. They were still misogynist to some degree. Now, the problem is because of the racism and their anti-trans modulation, they realize that they can never be populist in the left-wing party. their populism is going to move to the right because Cenk's roots are in republicanism. And so the thing is their populism that they thought Bernie was going to carry out, they realize it doesn't work on the left because of the civil rights, human rights issue, because of the race and gender and sexuality issue that they just cannot get behind. They tried, but they can't really do it. They can't stay true to it. So now their populism is going to land with someone like Tucker Carlson or anybody that's not specifically a Trumpy, but is anti-Israel, okay? And yeah, dude, the integrity, someone who said they're not grifters, dude, they went into an election year calling themselves Polymarket fucking Studios. Don't ever tell me that they are not grifters, but they still have an audience that is Democratic Party voters, and they will sink them because they profit. They absolutely profit. They will profit more with a right-wing president than with, the president they hate, dude. I mean, dude, look at Tucker Carlson. Remember Trump's oil meeting? Let's see who's at the Trump's oil meeting. Oh, yeah. Oh, look at that, bro. Yeah, there you go, Ana. There's your populist. Bullshit. Dude. Like, come on, man. Dude, Tucker is like, he's pro-Russia. He is fake populism. He is Christian zealot, theocratic. He may be anti-Semitic, like theocratic, but he is definitely theocratic fascism. He just wants to be the guy who's at the pulpit, okay? Dude, and he has more money than you can imagine. Racist as shit, bro. Anti-LGBTQ, dude. And they are polishing the knob, guys. They are polishing the knob. They're trying to sell Tucker Carlson as the populist candidate in 2028. And they're doing it because of Gavin Newsom.
So his newsletter had the title, "The Minnesota Shooting, Venezuela, Gaza, It's All Connected." Interesting. Now, Carlson begins by stating that yesterday's shooting has served as an opportunity for conservatives to score political points because Good should not have been blocking the road with her car. Hysterical protesters took to the streets, and liberal leaders like Minneapolis Mayor 𝗡𝗄𝗽𝗓 are behaving like children. So there was some, typical conservative throat clearing that took place early on in this newsletter. However, that aside,
do you see that? Typical conservative throat clearing, right? Liberal, they're talking shit about liberals. But putting that aside, when we get in there, when we get past the conservative throat clearing of this extremist Russian stooge that's at Trump's oil meeting that is extraordinarily racist and anti-Semitic and every other like anti-LGBTQ, like crazy, wealthy, religious person. You see what I'm saying? You see do you see the turd polishing that she is doing? Like, right? She's got the cloth, the chamois out, and she is like rubbing the turd, boss. Rubbing the turd.
He continues with this. The 37-year-old was an American citizen and reportedly the mother of a kindergarten-age child. I should note that, her child is now an orphan because the father of that child passed away previously. It's just it's tragic. I mean, if you value human life and you think about what the future of that child is going to be, it's a tragic story. It's not something to celebrate or win, political brownie points on. But nonetheless, he also says, did we disagree with her views on immigration? Probably, but that shouldn't matter. Her death is a tragedy regardless of her partisan affiliations, ideological beliefs, or who pulled the trigger. How come so few conservatives are viewing this story through a human lens? And why, when something similar, like the killing of Charlie Kirk, happens on the other side, did many on the left celebrate because they thought his political positions were wrong? And here's Carlson's explanation for why the country is currently undergoing this type of depraved culture.
Oh, here we go.
Violence around the world is desensitizing Americans to violence at home.
Ding, 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 ding.
Yeah, and I said something similar to that during the show yesterday when I was covering this story. I was just, I do think that we've been desensitized to people getting killed constantly.
Dude, like, hello, we've had 30 years of school shootings and no gun laws, right? We've invaded Iraq twice, right? Afghanistan occupation for 20 years, drone strikes every other day, right? Now we have a faction of America that's, supporting attacking Greenland and just like rushing into Europe. We're a member of NATO and they want us to take a European fucking territory. Like, dude, like, hello? I mean, what does she think? She just discovered something like brand new? Dude, we dropped the fucking atomic bombs, dude. Like, I mean, God, but she's like, my God, Tucker's brilliant mind. The thing we have to take from this, guys, is that Ana Kasparian and Megyn Kelly are both occupying the same role on different teams, okay? Megyn Kelly is desensitizing and destabilizing the MAGA movement because she senses the weakness. She's covering up for the Epstein pedos, but she's doing it to sort of like make way for a type of candidate that will take power and include her and elevate her, carry her up the rung of the ladder. She wants to be in on the next wave. And Ana Kasparian is doing the same thing.